Right, I'm going to do another video in a taxi again, like the last one. Actually, in fact, I'm going to do 2 videos, but only one is going to be for YouTube and one is pertaining to travel, which is this one. The next will be political and won't be on YouTube because I will be banned. And yeah, that's a reality, unfortunately. That's a nice hotel there. We're on the highway, and yeah. This is about hotels, actually. There's a big problem in India, Bangladesh and Pakistan specifically, also Afghanistan I would add, and you could even add that a lot of Islamic cultures, especially Gulf states, have similar attitudes, and maybe not the Gulf states because they're quite affluent, but Iraq is another example, probably Syria as well, though I've not been there, for sure Jordan, Lebanon, etc. And that is, people don't like to pay the commission to websites. So now, I don't mind people screwing over big companies, multi-billion-dollar companies like Booking.com or Expedia. I have no care about that. Frankly, I would do the same. I hate these big companies. These people get business from these companies. These hotels would not exist unless I was able to go on Google, upload Booking.com's webpage, and look and scroll through all the various options in Dhaka or in Delhi or Australia, the UK, anywhere. These companies operate everywhere now, and it's so efficient to utilize their page. Today, which is a first in my traveling life, so it's a pretty bold thing, a pretty comical thing, I'll call it, is I've been to 5 hotels today, and it's only 1 p.m. So 5 hotels in one day is not what you want. And the reason is very simple. Here in Dhaka, similar to the countries that I've stipulated, most of the hotel profiles are fake. Now, I've lowered my standards with respect to reviews here because I do find there is one thing in a lot of these countries with the cultural similarities that I've already expressed, and that is that people, when they complain, and they're local people as well, complaining about local people's hotels, they're really not objective at all. So, for example, in the West, so to speak, a hotel will never stay in business unless it's 7 out of 10. I never go 7 out of 10. The lowest I go is 8 out of 10. I only go 8 or 9 out of 10. There are no 10s in the world. No hotel is perfect, but 8 and 9 out of 10 is achievable irrespective of the price. It doesn't have to be an expensive hotel. It's just relative to the facilities that that hotel gives, right? In Bangladesh, you see hotels that are ranked 5 out of 10 or 4 out of 10, right? And I was very curious. I'm interested in hotels. I know a lot about them. And, when I look through the reviews, it's mostly local people, obviously, because tourists generally don't come to Bangladesh. It's not a touristy place. So it's Bangladeshi people rating Bangladeshi hotels. And they're really not objective with their reviews. I would say they're pretty bad with respect to how they judge other people's businesses. For example, for me, if I go to a hotel and I don't like the hotel, I'm not going to give the hotel 1 out of 10, right? I'm going to rate the hotel based on the experience, irrespective of if I have a personal judgment or not. Is it clean? Is the Wi-Fi good? Is there hot water? What's the location? I very rarely give a hotel, even a hotel that I don't like, a very bad review, because it's not fair on the business, and it's not objective, and it's not helpful for other people. When I look through the reviews in Bangladesh, it's like local people giving 1 out of 10 and just writing the word bad or some really ridiculous comment. For example, you'll see people complaining about, the breakfast or the location, and yet they're paying like $7 or $8 for the hotel. So why are they complaining? It's a cheap hotel, it's not the Hilton, it's not Continental or whatever. You can't expect to get everything you want when you're paying like $10 a night, right? Of course, if it was a $100 a night hotel and you want to say that, then that's fair enough. So you have to lower your standards. In Bangladesh, when you see a hotel that's 5 out of 10, it's realistically probably a 7 out of 10. And a 6 out of 10 is usually an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10. And you will never see hotels for less than $30 on Booking.com that are not, I haven't seen one 9 out of 10, which is crazy. First country I've never seen 9 out of 10s. And it's very rare to see an 8 out of 10. And often some of those reviews are fake as well. When I see hotels where there's not a lot of pictures and I don't think the standards look good, but they have an 8 out of 10, I look at the reviews and it's family and friends giving the reviews. So you have to be very cautious. So today I've been to 5 hotels, and the reason is actually to do with the traffic in Dhaka. Dhaka has the worst traffic that I've seen in the world ever, and it's a very big city as well. So You know, if you want to visit certain places in the city, you know, you have to take a taxi. You can take the metro, but then you have to get a taxi to the metro if you're not close to the metro. So I take a taxi everywhere, and even with a taxi, it can take a long time. It can potentially take 40 minutes, depending on where in the city you're going. When I arrived, I was in a place near the airport called Uttara, which I think is a nice part of Dhaka, but unfortunately it's not close to any of the central districts with all the sites, you know, the mosques and the historical places. So I moved from Uttara to the center of Dhaka, and I stayed at a hotel there, which scammed me, of course, and I knew it. I booked the hotel online, I had the price, I arrived at the hotel, and I was expecting it as well because it was a good price, and the guy said, "Oh no, sorry, we made a mistake with the booking. It's not actually, you know, £70 for the 1 week. It's $53 a night." And that's total bullshit. Like, he printed off this fake document trying to make me believe that it's $53 a night for this shitty hotel. You can get a really good hotel for $53 a night, which I'm not going to pay for, of course. So in the end, I negotiated with him, haggled a little bit, and I got it for like £13.50 a night. It should have been £7 a night, so he doubled up. And actually, I looked this week, and the hotel is listed on Booking.com for the price that I negotiated. But of course, Booking.com take like a 15 to 25% commission, so actually he made more. And I hated that guy as well. And that's the reason I left that hotel. I stayed there for a week, and in hindsight, now having left it this morning, for £13.50, it's not a bad hotel, really. The breakfast was pretty good, and the facilities were pretty good. There was good hot water. I had a huge problem with my first room and had to complain to this same total arsehole guy until I got the manager, who was really nice, and he moved me to another room. The room was flooded, so underneath the floor there was a problem with the pipes, so I was stepping on water. It was like a swimming pool, and the guy was trying to keep me in this room. It was crazy, and there was cockroaches because of this, and it stank because of the damp. So I moved room, and then I spent 5 nights in the new room, and yeah, the new room was nice. It was fine. When I account for the breakfast and the location, it was probably worth the $13.50. But this hotel was rated 6 out of 10, and again, I would rate this hotel for the price an 8 out of 10. So again, you see people in Bangladesh are, and it's not just Bangladesh, it's also India and not Nepal actually, but for sure Pakistan, Afghanistan. People really are not objective when they rate businesses. They just get angry and they give like 1 stars, which is just not a good thing to do. You should rate something objectively, right? So I booked 2 more hotels today in a place called Diamondi, and Diamondi is an area of Dhaka which I like. It has lots of coffee shops, lots of cafes. I like the area, so I booked 2 hotels, and I had free cancellation until 6 p.m. today. So I booked both hotels. One of the hotels is literally called like New Hotel, and all the pictures look really nice, everything looks brand new. So I just assumed, it's a new hotel. Didn't have many reviews, but again, I had free cancellation, so it's fine. So I arrive at this hotel, totally fake. Just total bullshit. It's not new, it's super old, it's super dirty. All of the pictures online are fake, which is fine. You know, people were not impolite, it's just a scam profile. So I cancelled this hotel, and I went across the street to a more expensive hotel that I also booked originally. I get to this hotel, and it's cleaner, but the room is so shit. The room is so small, I couldn't even stand in it and spin around in a circle with my arms out. It was like a box. And it was totally not worth the price, bearing in mind I came from a really nice hotel beforehand, a big hotel. That was only a little bit more expensive with breakfast, so this one was a no-no. So I got a taxi to another hotel. So this is the 4th hotel of the day, the 3rd new hotel of the day, and this is in the embassy district near the Russian embassy, the Saudi embassy, and a climbing wall as well. And actually I booked this hotel for the week after because I wanted to do 2 different areas. And I get there, and this hotel has no hot water. Again, the people are really nice, and actually the reception area of the hotel looks nice. Everything was fine, it's just they didn't have hot water, and you should have hot water. It's 2024, I'm not an animal. And for the price, it's a normal price. It's not a cheap hotel, it's like a normal hotel. And I've been in these, my first hotel and my last hotel that were really good, and either the same price or a little bit more. So not having hot water is just ridiculous. So I left that hotel, and now, because I've looked at all the hotels on Booking.com for the price I want to pay, I'm going back to the first hotel I stayed at in Dhaka, which was 2 weeks ago, which is near the airport, which is in Uttara, which is nice, but it's so far from the rest of Dhaka, and the traffic is crazy. but it's a really good hotel. You know, the staff are really nice. It comes with breakfast. The room is clean. It has hot water. It's safe. Everything in the hotel is fine. So I'm going to go back to this hotel. And luckily I gave this hotel 5-star reviews as well. Even though this hotel actually cancelled my booking with the company, they told the company that I didn't show up to the hotel. Again, another scam. And I lose money for that as well, because when I book a hotel online, I do it through a third party. So in this case, I booked through Wizz Air, and I get 5% cash back when I pay. So when they told the company that I didn't show up because they don't want to pay the 15-25% commission, which is a lie and very dishonest, they've actually screwed me a little bit. But even though they screwed me, it's still a good hotel, so I'm going back. So essentially, this is a problem, and you know, again, Bangladesh isn't the only country. I've had this in lots of countries. However, it's always in either India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Iraq, Afghanistan, like Islamic countries in Central Asia area. It's always about not building for the future. You know, people, I understand, like, you know, someone books for a week and they spend $120, $130 on a hotel. You know, 15-20% is, you know, decent money in these countries. So they cancel it, but they don't think about the future. You know, if you're a good hotel and you get more reviews, you know, more people are inclined to stay. You can put your prices up. So for example, I gave this guy a 5-star review for his hotel, but because he cancelled my booking on booking.com, he doesn't get the 5-star review on that. He gets it on Google Maps, which I gave him. But people go through booking.com, you know. He's a 7.2 in Bangladesh, his official booking rating, which is like an 8.5 in Europe, because again, it's better. So yeah, he's lost the review. And you know, if he doesn't keep cancelling the bookings and lying to the company and telling them that the customers don't show up, he gets better reviews, he can put his prices up, and then he makes more money long term. But no one ever thinks about the future in these ways. I see it all the time. It's never a future orientated culture. It's always about getting what you want here and now, fast money as quickly as possible, which is why there's so many scams in this part of the world as well. So that's my rant. It wasn't supposed to be 12 minutes, and I'm talking quickly, rapidly as well, trying to explain the situation. I just think it's useful for people to know, for people that aren't going to travel to this part of the world and just maybe want to hear a rant, or you know, something a little bit different about traveling. This is something that is specifically in this area of the world. You would never have this in China, you would never have this in South Korea, Japan, Europe, you would never have, or very rarely, it never happens. In 10 years, 120 countries, I've had a few cancellations from time to time by companies that don't want to pay the commission, but it never happens. In Bangladesh, it's every single hotel, so, and in India as well, all the time, and Pakistan, it happened a lot in Pakistan as well. It's a cultural thing, period. It's a cultural thing. So that's what's happening. Unfortunately now, because I'm now going back to the airport, if I want to see anywhere else in Dhaka, it's going to take me like 3 hours a day to go back to where I've just come from. Even getting the metro, because I have to take a taxi to the metro, get to the metro, and then take a taxi from the metro, because the traffic is crazy. So that's the only issue, but I guess it is what it is, and I just have to wake up earlier and go to bed later if I want to see some sights. So that's the gist thus far, and then next stop, China. And I haven't been back to China in 12 years, so excited about that. And you know, for people that don't know, China's in the last year and in the last couple of weeks been changing their policies drastically, which I've spoken about. And now, as of 2 weeks ago, it's 10 days transit without a visa and no fee. So I can arrive in a Chinese airport so long as I have an outbound flight or outbound transport. Then I can get 10 days. So that's pretty cool. And I'll leave it at that. Au revoir.